One thing I've noticed throughout the DBD community is that not a lot of people seem to know where this whole gnome thing came from. One guess from someone in the Discord was that the gnome was a portrayal of one of the developers, which I thought was kind of cute, but it's actually a lot deeper than that. It goes back almost 15 years, in fact. So, today's video is a little bit more unique, and we're going to be looking into the story and the lore of Gnome Chompski. Around May of this year, Dead by Daylight's 7th tome, Forsaken, was released. It had a focus on William Overbeck, more simply known as Bill. You know, the guy who brought us Borrowed Time and Unbreakable. Oh, and he's also from Left 4 Dead, but who cares about that? Just kidding. We care about that. Because it's our first step into understanding where the gnome came from. Bill and Left 4 Dead. My man Bill got some significant loving from Dead by Daylight with an entire tome dedicated to him. It featured Left 4 Dead charms, a brand new outfit, some references, and one of them, of course, being the gnome, more formally known as Gnome Chompski. The existence of this charm brought a cool little activity to Dead by Daylight that required players to begin the endgame collapse and then go hunting for a little garden gnome around the map. It would giggle and it would teleport and it would be very difficult to find. But once you found it, you smash it, do a little kick animation, and then you would escape or finish the trial. As you can imagine, it was much more difficult for the survivors to do because they'd have to open the exit gate and then go back into the trial, find the gnome, and escape. Regardless, whichever way you did it, you got a cute little charm that you could hang on either side, killer or survivor. So what has this got to do with Bill? Well, they're both from the Left 4 Dead franchise developed by Valve. However, whereas Bill is featured in the cast of Left 4 Dead 1 alongside Zoe, Francis, and Lewis, the gnome is found in Left 4 Dead 2, which has a completely different cast of characters. And no, the gnome is not a playable character, I'm just filling you in. Within Left 4 Dead 2, during the second chapter of the Dark Carnival campaign, players enter a fairground and they can loosely partake in some carnival games, one of which being the shooting range where you can win a prize. If you score more than 750 points, you free Gnome Chompski from a lockbox right next to the range. He's a physical, wieldable melee item that you can hit zombies with, and you inflict a little bit of damage. It's kind of weird, but you just carry him around. You know, what do you do with him, you might be asking? Well, the fun part, the weird part, is that he's tied to an achievement called Guarding Gnome. You know, like Garden Gnome, but guarding, like protecting him, get it? You rescue the gnome, and you have to carry him throughout the rest of the campaign, from Chapter 2 to Chapter 5, where you escape via a helicopter at the Midnight Riders concert. It's very exciting. While doing this, however, you can't shoot or do anything, you just carry him around. You know, you're designated as the gnome babysitter, if you will. Ultimately, it's just a very unique achievement in Left 4 Dead, and it continues the theme of Valve games making players do, you know, strange things in the quest for gamer score and trophies. So that's our first major link between Dead by Daylight and the gnome. All I'm saying is, you've definitely heard of Left 4 Dead, and if you were into it, you probably even got the gnome and saved it yourself. However, what you probably don't know is that the gnome is originally from my favourite game of all time, Half-Life 2. More specifically, Episode 2. The Little Rocket Man achievement featured in Half-Life 2 Episode 2 offers a similar challenge to Garden Gnome. However, this time you have to carry Gnome Chompski through much more than just a fairground. A little bit of backstory here. When the episodes for Half-Life 2 came out, Valve were trailblazing the gaming industry. This was back in 2007. They were trying their hand at episodic content. Why, you might ask? In an attempt to alleviate the pressure. You know, Valve were always being delayed. So in an attempt to try something new and work around the deadlines or the pressure, they would work with more shorter, refined installments that they could release on a much quicker basis. And we all know how that went. Don't even need to tell you, we know how that one went. Regardless, back to the gnome, you carry him from the very beginning of Episode 2, where the portal storms are happening, through the mines. You know, Alex gets all messed up, you take her to White Forest, boom. You throw him into a rocket and you send him on his way. Fun fact, Gabe Newell, the president of Valve, you know the guy, he sent a real-life Gnome Chompski into real-life space, in a real-life rocket. I'm not even joking. It's weird to think we got this far just from talking about a charm in Dead by Daylight. And that's without mentioning the fact that Gnome Chompski is also in Half-Life Alyx, which is a spin-off that came out 13 years after Half-Life 2 Episode 2. This time, however, the achievement Gnome Vault of My Own is in VR, so you literally have to hold a virtual gnome through a 10-hour game. Where are we going with this? Nowhere. It's just a funny little video I thought to do. People have asked me this a few times, I'd say a small handful of times on stream. Twitch.tv/CMWinter, by the way, live every day, 10 PM UK time, 5 PM Eastern, thank you very much. And I thought I would bless you with the story of Gnome Chompski, because people don't seem to know. You might know that Bill and the gnome are from Left 4 Dead, that's all very good, but it didn't start there. It started out as one of the most unique achievements in the greatest game of all time, Half-Life 2. Then it moved its way to Left 4 Dead, brushing shoulders with Bill and finally ending up in the entity's realm. Gnome Chompski really do be stonking his way all around the town. Bro, why did I write that in the fucking script? Did you know the tale of Dead by Daylight's gnome? Did you know? Did you know where he was from, or did you think it was a developer? Presumably, we all knew it's from Left 4 Dead, that's fair enough. But did we know about the link to Half-Life 2? I'd love to know what you initially thought of the gnome. I know it's not really... I'm sure people are just like, oh, it's a gnome, cool, but some people had further thoughts about it, and it's a silly question. Another silly question, what's your favourite Valve game? What we got here? We got Portal, we got Counter-Strike, we got Team Fortress 2, we got Dota, we got Artifact, XD, we got Half-Life, Left 4 Dead. We got some good ones. Let me know. Give me comments, please.